There have been sightings of strange things in the sky since ancient times, but it was only in the middle of the 20th century they acquired the name, unidentified flying object, or UFO. During the 1940s and 1950s, there was a huge surge in sightings around the world, often described as disc-shaped craft or flying saucers. The timing of this first great UFO wave was significant, coming at a period of widespread public paranoia caused by the nuclear arms race. The most common theory in the early days was that UFOs were advanced military aircraft that had been developed in total secrecy. Within a few years, public perceptions changed, thanks in part to Hollywood. Suddenly UFOs were no longer assumed to originate on Earth, but from another planet. Since then, the situation has been complicated by other alleged evidence for extraterrestrial visitation. From rumors that governments are concealing information about the dealings with UFO occupants to apparent memories of alien abduction recalled under hypnosis. Although these cases have little or no direct connection to strange objects seen in the sky, the term UFO still tends to be applied to them. Last year, for example, a UK newspaper carried the headline, "UFO Hunter Spots Alien Lizard on Mars," even though no flying object was involved. The fact is that the terminology has become hopelessly confused. To some people, particularly in official circles, unidentified flying object means just that, an airborne object that hasn't been identified. To many ordinary people, however, UFO means alien spacecraft. For this reason, the US military has started using the term UAP for unidentified aerial phenomena. To avoid appearing to talk about extraterrestrials every time they say they've seen something they can't explain. And UAP has another advantage, because UFOs may not always be literal, flying objects. As you'll see, some may be mirages, unusual weather effects, or even astronomical bodies. Therefore, aerial phenomena is a much more appropriate term in these cases. UFO and UAP do have one letter in common, and that's U, for unidentified. But it's important not to read too much into this. It doesn't automatically mean that what's been spotted came from another planet, or defies the known laws of physics. In the case of a photograph or video, for example, the resolution simply may not be good enough to work out what it shows. With a fleeting eyewitness report, even by a trained observer like a pilot or police officer, if they had no firm idea of the size or distance of the object. It might have been anything from a person's drone to an alien starship. And electronic systems such as radar are designed to pick up particular types of known objects, so anything falling outside the expected parameters is likely to be classed as unidentified. A proportion of UFO reports still remain unexplained, but not necessarily extraterrestrial, even after careful investigation. The majority of sightings can eventually be ascribed to known causes, anything from top-secret spy planes to obscure atmospheric phenomena. We'll take a look at some of these real-world UFOs here, as well as questioning one of the people behind the public release of half a century's worth of Ministry of Defense UFO files. The idea that some UFO sightings might represent genuinely unknown phenomena was given a boost in 2020 when the Pentagon, the U.S. Defense Headquarters, released 3 videos staff admitted couldn't be explained. The low-resolution, black and white videos show the instrument displays inside U.S. Navy fighter jets, recorded during encounters that baffled flight crews at the time. The first video, entitled FLIR, for forward-looking infrared, a reference to the equipment used to capture the video, dates from 2004, while 2 others, called Gimbal and GOFAST, come from 2015. The latter are more dramatic, with the UFO apparently in rapid motion and the crew's surprised reactions audible in the background. Despite the Pentagon's inability to explain the videos, numerous theories have been put forward by the public, ranging from optical illusions and instrument malfunctions to unusual atmospheric phenomena and of course alien spacecraft. Many UFOs aren't flying objects at all, but planets, mirages, or unusual atmospheric phenomena. On the other hand, some are exactly what they appear to be, ultra-futuristic flying machines, except they originate here on Earth, not in outer space. The CIA estimates that more than half of all UFOs reported in the US during the 1950s and 1960s were the nation's own spy planes. The very existence of these aircraft was a carefully guarded state secret, and the military much preferred the public to speculate about aliens than to uncover the true facts. A new twist was added in the 1970s with the advent of stealth aircraft such as the F-117, and later the B-2. During the development and initial deployment, these were every bit as secret as the earlier spy planes. While the requirement to disrupt incoming radar signals made them the most oddly shaped aircraft in the sky. Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk 1871, designed primarily for stealth, the F-117 was developed, and initially operated, in total secrecy. Its existence was only revealed to the public in 1988, 5 years after it entered service with the U.S. Air Force. The combination of secrecy and a strikingly unconventional appearance were guaranteed to produce UFO reports. Earth's atmosphere is a dynamic, constantly changing environment, and some of the more spectacular effects that occur in it can look like UFOs to the uninitiated. These include the unusual weather phenomena described in the graphics here, such as ball lightning, full streak holes, and lenticular clouds. The latter in particular are a perennial cause of UFO sightings due to their highly symmetrical and structured appearance. In a single month in 2015, the Houston Chronicle reported dozens of these false alarms, quoting one excited Twitter user as saying, "The sky over Texas appears to be filled with UFOs." Meteors are another natural phenomenon that can be mistaken for UFOs. These really do come from space, although they're just dust or small pieces of rock rather than alien spacecraft. They produce a glowing trail as they enter the atmosphere, and larger ones may explode on the way down, sometimes audibly, creating a spectacular light show that is almost guaranteed to generate UFO reports. Similar effects can be produced by human-made space junk, such as derelict satellites, as they re-enter the atmosphere. Although the majority of UFOs can eventually be explained in terms of known objects or phenomena, this doesn't mean they all can. And alien spacecraft aren't the only possibilities. A British government report in December 2000 concluded that some UFOs might be plasma phenomena in the Earth's atmosphere not fully understood by current science. Even more way out is the suggestion that UFOs are incursions from other realities or dimensions existing alongside our own. Since 2008, David Clarke has worked with the National Archives on releasing the MOD's UFO files. There are 2 sets of files. The first are paper ones transferred to the National Archives under the old 30-year rule. These cover roughly 1950 to 1984, but are very patchy because many earlier records were destroyed. The second set are from 1984 until 2009, when the MOD closed its public UFO desk. Both sets consist of UFO policy, sighting reports, and public and parliamentary correspondence. Looking at the sightings reported by the public, do some of them have obvious explanations? The vast majority of the 12,000 sightings logged by the MOD have down-to-earth explanations, but some remain unexplained. The truth is they never had resources to do more than a few basic checks on reports, and very few were investigated properly. There are almost as many explanations as there are sightings, everything from paper lanterns to bright planets and space debris. The MOD received 750 reports in 1978, one of the largest totals. This was the same year Spielberg's film Close Encounters of the Third Kind was released. One of the most puzzling is the Calvin incident from 1990. 2 men saw a large diamond-shaped object hovering above moorland in Scotland and took 6 photographs. They show the UFO being shadowed by what appears to be an RAF Harrier. But the image in the files is a poor quality copy. The case was investigated by Mod Intelligence, but there's little in the files that reveals the results. The most famous incident in the files is the Rendlesham Forest encounter in Suffolk in 1980. Both cases provide examples of the limitations of these records in that sensitive information has been removed and in some cases destroyed.